Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Crystal Clear podcast. I am so excited to have my girlfriend, Erica Johnson, on today. Thank you so much, Erica,
Oh,
for
thanks for
being
having me.
here.
Yeah.
Erica is a powerhouse mother of two, a wife to former UT running back coach, entrepreneur, and founder of Lux Boards here in Austin, Texas. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. This is fun. I'm so proud of you. This is cool. The studio
Oh,
and
yay. Thank
yeah.
you.
You've done this for years, so
I mean, a decade ago for a hot minute and now
you're
back
back.
into it. And so thank you. I'm so
Yeah, for
excited
sure.
to be doing this. And I'm so excited to have people like you, my
Thank
friends
you.
that are incredible and we can share your story. Okay.
Awesome.
So I want to start off with how long have you and AJ been married?
Oh my gosh. So we had our children before, which is unconventional,
Mm-hmm.
especially faith-wise, right?
Yeah.
But so in total we've been together for 19 years,
19 years.
but we've only been married for 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Like, hats off.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, I think anyone that's been married more than like 10, 15 years,
Right.
woo, especially in this day and age, it's a feat.
Yeah.
It's a you wake up every day and you make a choice. And
Absolutely.
so I just want to start off asking, what is your advice?
Oh wow, I always feel like that's such a big question. I think that just knowing yourself and having someone that supports that is most important. You know, he allows me to be myself and I allow him the space to be himself. And then just together, just riding through the waves of life,
Mhm.
you know, has just kept us on the same page and together. And that's not to say that we hadn't had ups and downs,
Right,
because
of
we're two
course.
totally different people from
Yeah,
two totally different backgrounds that are merging our lives together and now raising children together.
right.
um but allowing each other the room to grow within this time frame has just
Mhm.
really, you know allowed us to thrive, I guess.
I love
Yeah.
that. I ask because when Nick and I were on vacation a week ago, we were like running into all these couples that were like, "Oh, we've been married for 20 years." One of them was married 36
That's
years.
insane.
Insane. And I was like, I'm going to seize this moment and ask them, like, what is your advice? Like, what do you, because Lord knows I've been married twice, girl. Oh. So it's just like, yeah, that longevity, anything more than like 10 years is profound. And so, yeah, I
Just
know that you
asking
guys,
people. Yeah.
yeah, I know that you guys have been together for like 20
Yeah.
years. And so I'm like, I'm going to start this off just asking because I want to know. And I think that's incredible.
I think the other thing I probably should say is faith.
Okay. Yeah.
We're Christians, as you know.
Yeah.
And so prayer and
Mhm.
our faith in God has been monumental in our relationship, because when times are rough, that's who
Right.
we have to lean on. So
And
that
you guys
so
are heavily involved in your
we
church
are.
also,
We are.
and
Yeah.
you love it. Shout out your church. Where do
It's
you?
Summit Worship
That's right.
Center in Austin, Texas. Come check us out. We're led by Pastor Andrea Moore and her husband Eric Moore.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And they're incredible.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to have some new members with me and Jack.
I love it.
Jack
Yes.
is like nonstop in talking about
Yes.
God and Jesus, like
Beautiful.
all the time. And so he's ready and he needs to get baptized.
Oh,
So
we have a great children's program, so
okay.
bring them out. I can't wait
I
to have
will.
them. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to get straight into it.
All right.
Okay. Erica, stepping out of the traditional role. Were a homemaker
Yeah.
for years while AJ
Years.
was pursuing his college coaching career. So, what was it like in the early days holding down the fort while your husband coached at UT and the kids were growing up?
Insane.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just you. And I think what was beautiful was when we were dating on the first staff that we were on, we didn't have any children, and I had a lot of women that were on staff that had children, married, and they gave a lot of advice about how lonely it was going to
Yeah.
be and how much was going to be on you to raise your kids and to create a home, create a community everywhere you moved. And so anytime we were ever moving or we were getting into a new neighborhood or new school, it was literally
Yeah.
just me. And I don't think that I totally understood it until I was in it. But you know, he was working and he had an idea of what he wanted for his career and his life. And as his wife and as his partner, I was just so happy to support his dream and to do that. And if that meant holding down the fort,
Yeah.
raising, you know, our kids, you know, establishing community, that was just what I was going to do. But it was chaotic, a chaotic mess, but also such a blessing because it's not every day that you get to stay home and watch your littles grow into little people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was beautiful.
I remember you whenever we first met, and, you know, I was with Tevin, who was a college football coach.
Yes.
And from Jump Street, you were like, hey, let's go get lunch. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk. And you did that for me.
Yes.
What other women did for you, you did that for me. And you were just like, you know, this is like, it's hard. It's hard as hell. Like, oh my God.
So hard.
Well, so it's funny because when Brittany, I was asking her about like her journey with DJ and being in the NFL, she was like, I was like, what are the misconceptions? And she was like, you know, that it's not like a normal job, 9 to 5. And I was thinking, girl, okay, must be nice.
Because the players are different, right? The player
Totally
schedule
different.
is totally different from a coach's.
Yes. And
Right?
people have no idea.
No idea.
No idea.
5:30 in the morning, they're waking up, they're leaving, and then they're not home until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night because they're breaking down film. They're doing practices. They've got to check on grades. I mean, there's so much that they have to do in those rooms and at those schools that people don't see the behind the scenes of that. And so you have no clue. It's just, it's just repeat, wash and repeat over and over. And, you know, you got camps, you've got recruiting, you've got all of those other things that keep them away and traveling. And it's fun. I don't want to paint it like it's
the men love what they do.
Yeah. And
but
it's fun for us and our kids.
Yeah.
Take them on the fields and let them run around. All of that is fun. It just is.
It's a grind.
You're going to holiday parties by yourself. You're going to school events. You know, I mean, they'll try to catch and get in where they can, but no.
It's so true. And people truly have to, no concept of that. I think I heard once that the average college coach moves like 12 times in their career. And people also don't understand, like, if the head coach gets fired, the entire staff gets fired. Like, everyone's gone. So some people literally relocate for like half of the season. And then by the end of the season, that coach is gone. Therefore, they're gone.
Yeah. Or you're stuck where you're at because maybe you don't get hired somewhere else. Yeah.
Ooh, it's a sacrifice.
It is.
It's a lot. It is just, it's so much. So, okay. When did you first feel that pull to step into something that was just yours? And how did Lux Boards come to life?
So I've always done a little something, little hustle on the side, because that's just who I've been. But when London was a little bitty baby girl, I was going to the gym and working out.
You?
Isn't that the ongoing? Listen,
because this girl is just naturally built and athletic, and we have to like kind of pull her a little.
And I'm laying on the Pilates machine, like I gotta move. But no, I used to work out all the time. And what's crazy is...
So that laid the foundation of what I see now.
That's
got it. That and genetics.
That's it. But I used to take like a Zumba class because back then Zumba was it.
It was today's Pilates.
Exactly. And so our instructor got hurt. And my girlfriend, who was on the same staff with us, she was like, you should just teach the class. Like, you're really good. Just teach the class. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I did. I did. And then I got certified. Girl, I was like a Zumba. I don't think I've ever told you this. I was certified Zumba.
What? That is incredible.
People loved my class. They wait to get in. It was, once our gym opened up another gym, I was teaching back and forth. I got into training like in like CrossFit and other
Erica.
Insane. I don't tell anyone. That's why I'm so burnt out. I don't tell anyone this.
She's still burnt out from a decade ago.
Because by the way, London is 14. She'll be 15. I'm still burnt out. But
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like running to the gym with a jogger, like her stroller,
That's
like
incredible.
I loved it. And so it gave me like a little outlet to just have something that was my own.
Yeah.
And my class was busy, and my gym loved it. I loved it. My friends did. I created this whole community of people. And so, yeah, by the time fast forward to Lux Boards, it was great to be able to start a business that and have something that was mine again,
Yeah.
because after having worked in the gym for all that time, and of course we moved to Toledo, and for AJ to coach on that staff there, I didn't really get back into it. That was a hard move because that's all the way in Ohio. I mean, we had no one.
Yeah.
And so I would just was really focused on, creating a home and a sanctuary for us there that I didn't really get out of um outside of being just a mom there. I just focused on loving on my babies and then managing two kids at this point, right?
Yeah.
And so when we got back to Austin, and we were in COVID, I will never forget, Brittany called and was like, we should start a business. And she's like, what can we do? I'm like, maybe flower arranging. And she's like, keep thinking. And then it hit me like, we should do charcuterie boards. That's something that we would always do and take to anyone's house that it was inviting us, or if we were getting together, we always did it. We're like, let's just do that. We did it thinking that you'd buy one.
Yeah.
that like our close neighbors would buy one, close friends, and just support us in this little hobby. But what happened next was insane. It just flourished, and it spread, and it grew because everyone was quiet and taking time to themselves and really like diving into who they were, really spending time with their family, because we couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. And so because there was not all that hustle and bustle, it really gave the business a chance to just thrive, and people just to see us and then support us. And then by word of mouth, here we are 4 years later, Crystal.
And I feel like you were kind of at the beginning of like the craze. Like I had seen maybe a company that started doing it, but you were kind of one of the first in Austin that was like local, and you could order and tangible, and like you're literally delivering it like to people's homes or businesses. And you were like, one of the first.
I think there were maybe two other businesses that were doing it.
And I don't even think one of those businesses even around anymore.
No. And then also I think one of them, she was kind of doing it as just like a little side into our availability. Wasn't as, we shouldn't have as much availability as we did.
Yeah.
It was awesome to present it to our friends, present it to everyone, and then just, watch it grow slowly but surely, and word of mouth, and all the different places we've had a chance to create for. Yeah, it's been a blessing.
It's incredible. I'm so proud of you. And it's like a forever need.
Yeah.
Like I'm forever have clients, that's such a perfect closing gift for them. And there's just like literally any occasion.
Bereavement. Someone we've done that when someone has passed. We've had someone ask us to send a board. Celebrations. Oh, my daughter just finally had her baby, and she can now have cheesecake.
Yeah, God.
Board to the hospital. You know what I mean? Corporate events, weddings, baby showers. I mean, you name it.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy and so proud of you. I love that
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay. So how did stepping out of the traditional role shift the dynamic at home? Because I know that everyone was like so used to you being fully available
all the time
for them forever. So what was that like?
For their every need.
Yes.
And I loved it, by the way, right? But it was a big shift because now mommy has her phone all the time because I'm taking orders.
Yeah.
I'm, booking events. Like, put your phone down. I'm like, I have to work, but they're just not, and I would get so frustrated, like, I have to work. And then it was like, they're not used to this. They're used to having my attention. So I have to really walk them through the process of mom has a job, mom has a business, and this is what we do. So I just involve them in it along the way, right? One thing about me is I'm a control freak
Mm-hmm.
because I've always created our home and
Right?
all of that. That's just always been on me. And so allowing AJ the space to help,
Mm-hmm.
that was really hard for me. That was so hard
Yeah.
because I had to have him step in. I thought I could do it all.
Right.
And I was running myself ragged
Right.
trying to do it all.
Oh
I
yeah, I
mean,
remember
I'm
you
trying
were
to
stressed
stressed. I was
out.
trying to cook, clean,
Right.
do all these things that I'd always done,
Right. In addition to running a
a
business.
business. And I learned, Crystal, that I was doing that to myself.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of prayer for me to just be able to recognize that I needed to let that go.
Yeah.
And also through counseling, we were seeing a relationship counselor, love her to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things that she was telling me is you've got to relinquish control.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to allow them this space to take care of things.
Yeah.
And they may not do it the way that you want them
Right.
to do it, but appreciate the fact that it's
Yeah.
getting done. And I'm not a pro at it by any means. And my girlfriend D reminds me all the time, let it go.
Yeah.
Just let them do it. Let them help. And I have, and it has made a world of difference for myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. And so much for them as well. So, and they were, AJ's so supportive. The kids are supportive. So yeah.
Yeah, I've seen AJ literally
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, AJ, hi, thank you, amazing. I love it to have that support,
Yeah.
from like everyone, from the kids, from
Yeah.
AJ, like that means everything. And it is tough when you're like a type A personality and you're a control freak. So good job.
Yeah.
More women, need to learn to do that. I know it's way easier said than done, and it sounds like it didn't happen overnight for you, but it's like if you're not good, if mom's not good, no one's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, hats off to you. Okay, how do you juggle the demands of your kids' sports schedules and your own business without losing yourself in the process?
Okay, back to just what I just said. Like I was running myself thin,
Yeah.
but I was no good to anyone, not to my business, not to my friends, my husband, and my kids. So creating healthy boundaries
Mm-hmm.
was really, really, really important. And understanding that I have a great support in my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I wasn't giving him enough credit.
Yeah.
And allowing him the space to also raise his children, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there was a time where I just felt like I needed to be at everything that they had going on. And the reality is they've got a dad.
Yeah.
And they've got a really good dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sports wise, he's the person that he's a coach. He's all professional. He's an expert. He's the one that probably should be there and be involved with those coaches and really supporting them and allowing me that opportunity because my business thrives over the weekends and, sometimes in the evenings, that space to really nourish my business and pour into it to that way.
Right.
And allow him to pour into our children because for so long at the beginning, it was me. And so that was hard to just kind of like,
let go.
Yeah. But girl, every time you turn around, like, do you want to get together? I'm like, I got softball.
Yeah, I know.
The football. I got to do all this stuff. But after I decided to let him do that, it gave us an opportunity to do things without each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then also when those times that we do get to come together and travel to go see their sports or their games and stuff, just be supportive for our kids there together. Because they need to see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. Okay, so how do you also, speaking of like, friends and like outings, how do you manage that too? Like in your 40s between your family, which is number one, followed by your business and then your relationships, because you have a lot of close, meaningful relationships that really matter to you. So how do you feel like you navigate that part too?
So, I'm always really tough on myself, I should say. And so sometimes I don't think I'm doing as great as I should be as far as managing my friendships. But what I have learned over this time, especially now in my 40s, mid 40s, girl.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a season for everything,
Yeah.
right? And if my girlfriends are my true girlfriends, they know to allow me the space, just like I would for them, to just kind of live in that season that they're in. And so, for instance, right now, London is going to be a sophomore.
Yeah.
And Walker's 11. So, we still got some time there. But the more and more that, the older and older that she gets, the more and more time that I feel like I need to spend with her, because she's going to leave.
Yeah.
She's going to go. And I'm watching, this graduation season. And so I'm watching people say goodbye to their kids. And I'm a hot mess.
Yeah.
Like, I'm crying and it's not even happening
I
yet.
Cry right now.
Yeah, right? I just like, it's not
And
even,
he's 5.
Yeah. He was
Okay.
like that. Yeah. It's so important to me in this season to really nourish my relationship with my daughter.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to send her off.
Yeah.
Right. And so my girlfriends know that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm not going to make that dinner. Sometimes
Right.
I'm not going to make that lunch. But y'all know my heart. Y'all know how I feel about you guys.
And you show up when it matters.
Yes.
And that's what matters.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that I'm not sad.
Yeah.
That I see pictures and I'm like,
FOMO,
I wish I could have been there.
Yeah.
But also, I'm happy I was here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest lesson you've learned about yourself and your family through this journey?
That we have each other.
Yeah.
Right? That AJ and I, humble brag, but we have done a good job of creating a little close-knit family, and we depend on each other and we support each other, and we're showing our kids what that looks like. And so just being honest with them, I think that you and I both know, growing up, our parents sometimes hid some of their struggles or hid some things that they thought weren't for children. But the reality is that kid is in that home feeling everything about, all the feelings, and they're smart. They're intuitive. They know what's going on. So being honest with them is super, super important. And then faith, of course, like we lean on our faith and we pray with our children, and I think, and they pray for us. And I think with that, we just created this little loving little unit of support, and they know what that looks like. And so, yeah.
I love that. And they can hopefully instill that, in their families. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Okay. So what do you think your kids will see when they watch you chasing your dreams?
Oh, goodness. Hopefully someone who is just determined and confident in who she is, right? I mean, I say that and I'm like, am I that? But I think I am. I think self-doubt sometimes creeps in, but I'm proud.
Yeah, good.
I'm proud.
Good.
It's not easy to start a business. It's not easy to keep it going. It's not easy to have a family and raise children. It's not easy to stay married. Everything, they make it so easy for couples to not be together, right?
1,000%. Yeah.
And so to fight for all of those things, I hope that they see that I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? They tell me that they're proud of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope they see I'm proud.
That's amazing. Yeah. And you should be.
Thank you.
Like, truly. That's like, my first question. I'm like, girl, you're still married? How? Like, I mean, your husband's incredible. Like, but I know it's not easy. Anyone that's in a marriage, no, it's a choice. You wake up every day and you choose each other.
Absolutely.
You choose to make it work. And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But it's such an incredible thing. And I feel like it's so many people want it. So many people have it. So many people lose it. So to like be able to have your family together, it truly is such a blessing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just value that so much. And it's just, I'm like, I want to do better this time around.
Yeah.
I want to like just do better. And so a big part of it is the person you choose, right? I
Sure.
think they say like the number one decision in your life will be who you choose to marry, like your
Yes.
partner,
Yes.
truly. And so, I mean, that's the biggest part of it. But even the most incredible people that are very compatible, it's still hard.
Yes. Like you
So,
said, two different backgrounds
yeah,
coming together to do life.
yeah,
That's insane
yeah,
when you really think about
yeah,
it. And so if you're not prayed up, if you're
yeah,
not asking the important questions at the start of the
right.
relationship, I mean, yeah. Because I think even for us, like how we grew up is like, oh, go to school, you get married.
Yeah,
I mean, no one's ever like, talk to this person,
yeah,
figure,
right.
you know what I mean? Get to
Yeah,
know this person. You're going to spend the rest of your life. What
yeah.
happens if this happens? Like, or, you lose all your money, or you like,
There's a death in the
yes,
family.
like how is this
Yeah,
person going to react to you? Like, and how are you going to react to the person? I don't
right.
think those conversations are had. And I think we're doing a good job with our kids,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I even ask you guys sometimes, like, am I too honest to a fault? Like, is it, but he's only 5, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's important. It's important. Like you said, kids feel everything. They're smart. They get it. So it's better to like, be honest with them. And that also, most importantly, prepares them for the real world.
Absolutely.
They're not going to be like, what is going on or how to deal with conflict and how to deal with hard times, if you don't keep it real with them, because life is hard. It gets
Yeah.
hard sometimes.
And who better to give them
Yeah.
that dose of honesty rather than their parent, or like other than their parent, I should
Right.
say, right? Because you're raising them, they're trusting you. I
Yeah.
mean, like you're like nurturing them through
Right.
life. You should be the person delivering the information. You don't want little Timmy on the
No.
playground telling your child
You sure
how to
don't.
deal, right? You want to be
Exactly.
the person that they come to
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good. So true. Okay. So we're just gonna totally transition on
Okay.
a different topic.
All right.
We are gonna talk about the complexities of grief.
Okay.
Because that is something both you and I have experienced.
Mhm.
I lost my father when I was 28 unexpectedly to a heart attack. We are 15 years later. You recently lost your father
Yes.
unexpectedly. What, 6
So
months ago?
yeah, I was thinking about that today. His birthday just passed. It was
Yeah.
on Saturday. And so I was thinking it's been almost 6 months,
Yeah.
since he passed, and we lost him tragically to a house fire on New Year's Day. He was cooking and he fell asleep, and he didn't make it. They tried to revive him when they rescued him, but he didn't make it. And so yeah, it was very emotional losing a parent, but then how we
How
lost
he,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's tragic.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I know, you're very close with your mother. I don't know like the dynamic with your father. You guys weren't that close, or what was the.
So my parents divorced when I was 12, and my mother raised us,
Mm-hmm.
and he was kind of in and out.
Okay.
And when I was younger, I was very angry about
Mm-hmm.
him being in and out and not having him. Um, when I was pregnant with London, I just had this overwhelming feeling that I needed him to be in my life, and nothing about him not being there before mattered, right?
Wow.
And I have to say that him being in and out, our family, like his side of our family, I hate saying his side,
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't. So we were always very close to our grandmother, our uncles, and yeah, cousins. We always visited,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to make it seem like he was estranged. He just wasn't around as
Yeah.
much as, we would have liked him to be. But we still were close to him. But yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that leads me to my first question about that. Can you share what it was like to lose a parent you weren't especially close with, and what surprised you most about how it felt?
So it's such a trippy feeling. And even now, just now, me explaining that he wasn't there feels like a little bit of I'm not giving him enough, but
Mhm.
also the reality is that he
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
there,
right.
right? And so it's a trippy feeling because you've known this person your whole life
Mhm.
and then they're gone.
Right.
And that's such a strange feeling. Everything that they had is left behind and they're
Mhm.
gone, right? And so I think that you're so incredibly sad.
Mhm.
Not you kind of mourn a little bit for what
Mhm.
could have been or what you really
Yeah.
wanted to happen in that relationship
Mhm.
or how you thought it might grow.
Mhm.
Um but also I also feel very very strong in the fact that I tried
Mhm.
to nurse that relationship, but he struggled mentally
Mhm.
with some health issues,
Okay.
mental health issues. And
Mhm.
so that kind of got in the way
Mhm.
of us, developing this relationship into something that I hoped and dreamed
Yeah.
it would be. And that's not my fault.
Yeah.
Also, I was the child,
Right.
right? And so I can be I'm sad that we didn't get that opportunity. Um but you know, it still hurts the same as if he was the dad that,
Dad of the year.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, because it's like two levels of mourning,
yeah,
that I'd never thought of in terms of like, yeah, you idealize, like, you have this idea of like what it could have been, and then you have to like mourn the loss that it will never be, in addition to like that person
yeah,
being gone forever.
yeah, for sure.
That's and what I told you, and what I always tell people when they lose a parent unexpectedly, it's like truly time heals all wounds. It's so fresh for you, but there's forever a void,
Yeah,
forever a void. And it gets easier,
yeah.
but like, I knew I was going to cry.
It's
It
okay.
gets easier, but there's moments where you that hit harder than others,
Yes.
and it's always going to be like that.
Yeah, because grief is an emotional roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
There are times where like you'll just bust out laughing at something
Yeah.
that either I say or and I can hear his voice in
Yeah.
me or the way that I laugh in a situation. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds so much like him.
Yeah.
And then there are other times where I'm like, mad.
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
Right.
But it's an emotional roller coaster. And you're right. I mean, I'm at the very beginning
Yeah.
stages of it. But, even without having that closeness, there's just a void. It's a
Void.
crazy
Yeah.
void. Yeah. That's unexplainable. I don't know if I can really put it into words, but I feel you. Like,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, did you feel a sense of guilt or confusion around how to grieve?
No. And I think that there were times and people were being kind, right? Because especially people who knew the dynamic of my
Mhm.
relationship with him um would ask like, are you going to have any regrets? And no.
Yeah. Regrets about what?
About what? No.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a child
Mhm.
whose parents divorced,
Mhm.
who ultimately loved like forever till death loved each other.
Mhm.
And anytime we got together with my dad's family and my mom,
Mhm.
like my grandparents are still really inclusive of my mom. They love
No,
her.
that's great.
They
Yeah.
call her. She goes to
Yeah.
she went to our family reunions. Like, so I don't have any regret.
Yeah.
He couldn't, because of what he had gone through, he
Mhm.
couldn't be the kind of
Right.
dad that I felt like he really wanted to.
Right.
And he had a lot of struggles.
Mhm.
And so I don't feel any guilt for his struggles.
Mhm.
I
Right.
I
Good.
can only do what I can as a kid to try to
Right.
love him and just accept who he is. And even throughout my life with my siblings, different, because there would be times where I would be mad, or my sister or my
Yeah.
brother or whatever. And I would always say to them, you just gotta, you can't be in control of what he has
Yeah.
going on. You can only do what you can, and then welcome him in a way that is comfortable
For
for
you,
you.
that
And you
respects your boundaries, right?
absolutely, boundaries are super
Yeah.
important. And so, no, I don't feel any regret. I just long for, um, I just missed the opportunity of
Yeah.
having that, but I didn't do anything to not have that. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of guilt when my dad passed. It was like I would like walk down these like moments of like where I was like such a brat, or
Yeah.
like so, like
Yeah.
and in hindsight, I'm just like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
Like, why did I act like that? And then I'm like, I know my dad's not thinking about that right now. Like, he's looking down on me. He is proud of me, like, but I couldn't I had so much guilt. I was like ridden with guilt
Yeah.
on things that I could have and should have done differently. And like, because you're like, I'm never gonna get to talk to that person again.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see them again. And then but as you know, I'm super like, especially now in my 40s, girl, I'm like, I saw the cardinal. Grandpa visited me today. Like, I am that person, and I truly, my dad always shows up for me. And I told you, your dad was going to show up for you, especially when you need him the most.
Absolutely.
I'll never forget probably within the first 6 months, maybe first year of my dad passing, I was always at the cemetery. I don't really go often, maybe once a year now, because I'm like, he's not there, he's here with me every day. But I was like every weekend going to the cemetery. And I remember, sitting on the bench, I'm like sobbing, and we made a DVD for my dad, and it had all of his favorite songs. And there's like, I don't know, let's say 6 of them. So I'm like boohooing, sobbing, and then one of the songs, like a car pulls up to visit their loved ones, and one of those songs was on.
Stop.
Loud as hell. And I was like, okay, Dad.
I hear you. I see you.
Okay.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's, he just shows up. They show up for you in ways that and so for me, Long Island Medium, I don't know if I told you this. So watching that show, holy moly, that really opened me up so much more to signs, because that's her whole thing. Have you ever watched the show?
I have.
Yeah. Okay.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
all about signs. Yeah.
oh my God. So I would be like sitting outside at my townhouse on, the balcony, not a soul in sight.
Yeah.
And I would smell some strong ass cologne.
Stop.
Yes. And my dad loved to put the cologne on, girl. I would smell like strong cologne.
Yeah.
And wouldn't think anything of it. And then I started watching the show, and I was like, oh my God, that was like my dad. That was my dad. He was there. And another thing that she told me, which I'm not kidding, this literally just happened on Monday with my mom and it doesn't happen often, but because of the show, she said, if you ever see someone in the distance and you're like, oh, that was my dad, like that person looked just like my dad, or like whomever that has passed, she's like, it is them. It is their souls showing themselves to you in that moment.
Wow.
It is them. And that, I'm not kidding, it literally just happened to me at Neiman Marcus. Oh. He showed up for me at Neiman's to validate my spending. Just kidding. Totally kidding. But no, it hasn't happened in so long. I remember it happened in Playa del Carmen, like on the Avenida, and I saw a man, and it was my dad. And then, I see his face again, and it wasn't him. And that happened to me at the Domain on Monday. And I was like, Mom, have I ever told you this? I saw this on Long Island Medium. She was like, no, you never told me that, but that's beautiful. Oh. Yeah, it literally just happened. So I say that to you. I say that to anyone who's lost someone. Like, those are little things that, like, those are your moments.
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny that you said that. I often, there was a shirt I was wearing when I found out that he had passed. And, every time I wear this sweatshirt, it gets dirty. And I find comfort in, believing that's a little, I'm like, really? You're just going to knock something? Yeah. Well, and I literally am talking to him, and I'm like, you're just going to, today, this is right off the bat, you're going to get the shirt dirty. But yeah, I kind of run with that
Yeah.
as a sign from him. But he was fierce in his belief of God.
Mhm.
And so one of the things that he would always say is, if you're not, you better get right with God.
Mhm.
You need to accept him as your savior, and repent, read your Bible. He would always say things like that to anyone. I
Yeah.
mean, to strangers,
Yeah.
to anyone. And so I know for sure that he is in heaven and he's
Mhm.
good. So
Yeah.
I don't worry about him in that way. My
Yeah.
my grief for him is
Right.
very different.
He's in a better
He's in a
place.
better
He's
place. He's good.
great.
He was right with God. I
Yeah.
don't worry about him in
Yeah.
that way. I do just, I miss him
Yeah.
for me, for my children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
So,
So, how did this experience shift your perspective on family and relationships?
um, my siblings and I, and people don't often say this, we turned into each other during this process. And we became a little unit who was fierce in our
Yeah.
determination to protect him. Um, and that's why I kind of tiptoe around I wasn't that close to him, because I don't ever want to paint him in that light or make it seem like he wasn't a good person,
Mhm.
because he was. He was the kind of person that would take his shirt off and give it to you and just be like, "Hey, I'll find another one." Like,
Yeah.
he was that guy. And so we leaned into each other, and there was no fighting. We just didn't want that.
Yeah.
In our family, on our mom's side, there was her siblings. They didn't talk to each other
Oh,
after my grandmother
yeah.
passed. And that was
Yeah.
heartbreaking for her, you know? And, she was really big on, even before my dad passed, like, you guys don't ever fight over money. You
Yeah.
don't fight over anything. You lean on each other.
Yeah.
You guys are all you have. And so here we are
Yeah.
faced with this tragedy. And that's exactly, I mean, like, still doing Mama said. It's
Yeah.
exactly what we did, is just turned to each other and offered each other a tremendous amount of support. And then we laughed, like,
Yeah.
we told,
Yeah.
like, we
Yeah.
were telling each other stories. Like, at sometimes we would all just get on the phone. We wouldn't even be talking. We're just sitting on the phone, you know just offering
Yeah.
support, because my brother lives in
Yeah.
Dallas. Another one lives in Oregon, and then my sister lives in Atlanta. And so, yeah, we took care of business.
I love it.
Yeah, planned his funeral out, you know.
And that is a testament to your mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Truly.
Absolutely.
And something that your children, see. And when that helps them deal with grief
For sure.
in the future.
Yeah.
That's exactly how my siblings and I were.
That's awesome.
We
You don't
came
hear that, by the way.
together. Yeah. 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 So, no, my siblings and my dad would always say blood is thicker than water.
Mhm.
Everyone else is strangers. So, yeah, that's amazing to hear, because you're right. You don't, unfortunately, like death and a lot of that, tears families apart.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, that's incredible to hear, because I had that experience, and some sibling, like for me, I was the middle child, and I like really stepped up because my sister had him the longest. So she was like debilitated. My little brother had him the least amount of time, debilitated, and then there I was, and I was like, okay, well, someone has to keep it together, because these two are like falling apart. I literally stayed up and wrote my father's eulogy. I stood up and I called his side of the family, my papu, his sisters, my aunts, my uncle. I called them.
Wow.
I told them that my dad had passed away.
Wow.
Not my older sister, not my little brother, like me.
Wow.
And it's crazy, because I remember calling my aunt to tell her that my dad had passed away, and I was like getting really worked up and emotional and like I think probably a little hysterical. Girl, I got bit by a bumblebee.
Stop.
I was like, it was my dad like slapping me, telling me to get it together, girl. You have a job to do because your brother and sister can't do it. Yeah, who gets like talk about kicking someone when they're down? Me. I got stung by a bee. I have not been stung by a bee, knock on wood, since 15 years ago. Yeah.
He's like, get it together.
Get it together, girl. Like your siblings.
You're my little strong one right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sure enough, I did. So yeah, it's amazing how kind of siblings, you know, everyone grieves differently.
Yeah.
If you can come together during that grief, that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
So, I love that. So, what has been the biggest challenge in managing that loss when showing up for your kids and your business?
So I'll start with business, because business was easy only because, you know, it allows me like a creative space. That's what I love about it. And so that creative outlet, I should say, just allowed me not to think and just to use my hands to create something that I think is beautiful. I think they're beautiful.
Yeah.
But so that was easy to dive back into because it gave me something else to focus on, you know, other than my sadness and the people around me and their sadness, how they were feeling. And then not to mention when you're planning a funeral, like your grief takes like a huge
backseat.
Yeah, because you're managing emotions. And so I'm the oldest. And then my uncle, who was helping me to plan my dad's funeral, is the oldest. And so, and my grandmother is suffering a little bit from dementia, and my grandfather has passed. So he was, I mean, the two of us together, we'd get some cries in when we could, but we were pretty busy. And so as far as my children go, I was just very honest and open with what I was feeling. And my girlfriend, her father had passed about a year before, and her son was, you know, always trying to comfort her. And she was, you know, she wasn't mean, so I don't want to paint it that way, but she would kind of like hide her tears from him or tell him to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I remember telling her, don't do that.
Yeah.
Let him see you.
Grieve. Yeah.
Let him
healthy.
see you.
It's normal.
If he wants to hug you when you're crying, let him hug you when you're crying.
Yeah.
You hug him when he cries.
Yeah.
And so we try to create or we try to put on sometimes as like we're the superwoman, and we are, and we're strong.
Right.
But we have feelings too.
Right.
And so it's important for our children to see, you know, we get hurt, we get sad, we get mad. Those are all part of the grieving process, emotion, just being human life, right?
In general,
yeah, in general. And so allowing them to come in and see me that way was super important. And then seeing how they responded made me feel so proud, Crystal, because London was like, I'm the mom. Now I'm the mama.
I love it.
What do you need to eat? What do I need to get you? Hey, go put this up. I'll do this. I'm like, so you do know how to do laundry?
Yeah.
You do. You're like, wait a minute. So you do know how to manage this house. But no, she stepped up and she took care of all of us. And AJ was just so good of letting me just have it. He didn't, you know, sometimes I feel like your partner feels this need to fix something for you. He didn't do that in this season, of what I was going through. He just let me vent. He let me talk. He let me be. And that was beautiful, right? And then you've got Walker, who was, you know, so sweet, but has a ton of questions because he's a little guy. But one of the funniest things that happened during this, after my dad died, he came and sat down, and, you know, I was kind of sad, and he was like, "You sad?" And I was like, "I am." He was like, "Well, I've been thinking, I want to change my name." Like, what? What? I was like, "What?" He's like, "I think I want to change my name to Chuck." I was like, "Chuck? Where does that come from?" he's like, because people always ask me when they meet me, do you know who Walker Texas Ranger is? And I'm like, I know, Chuck Norris. So maybe if I just call myself Chuck, they'll stop asking me that.
Oh my
I
goodness.
laughed. It was so funny to
Yeah.
me. And I just like, after that, I just, every once in a while, just be like, that boy is something else. But
Yeah.
he made me laugh.
Yeah.
And he just thought that was so good that he made me laugh in a time where I was sad. But, that was his way.
Yeah.
That was his little way. Yeah. So when you see him, call him Chuck.
Okay, Chuck. So, what would you say to someone else navigating a similar kind of complicated loss?
Not to hide how you truly feel,
Mm.
because your grieving process is yours.
Yeah.
And it's specific to you. And you cannot line it up with anyone else's, right?
Right.
And so allowing yourself the space to just, if you're sad, be sad.
Yeah.
If you're happy, be happy. If you're angry, be angry. For me, I allow myself those feelings, that emotion. And I'm very vocal. Like, I don't feel great today, or I heard this song that made me sad, or, I found this picture. I haven't done any counseling yet. I will. I haven't yet, but I have been keeping a journal.
Mm-hmm.
And so, right after he passed, I created this little journal, and it's a grieving journal, and it has some, pointers and help on grieving in this journal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can go in and add at times. And sometimes when I'm feeling something, I'll pick it up. Sometimes I'll scroll through some pictures. Sometimes I'll write something that's, funny, that made me think of him that day. And that offers me just like an outlet. Because I think when we cry and when we grieve, we're sometimes apologetic to people around us, or we think, because we put this on ourselves, we think that when we do that, we're a burden. Oh, I'm the sad friend, or I am, still struggling, and I probably should be over this. That's not how that goes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the people around you that love you support you in all of that.
Right.
And they understand. You understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
The levels. And I told a friend one time, I was supposed to go to an event with her, and I said, you know what? I can't go. I'm sad.
Yeah.
And she was like, girl, you're good.
Yeah.
I'll check on you later.
Yeah.
Deal with that.
Yeah.
Live in that.
Yeah.
Feel him.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I would say. Just feel.
Yeah.
Because that person meant something to you.
Right.
And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually, it's funny when I would, because sometimes it makes people so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable, right? Whenever you're crying and you're emotional, and they would be like, oh my God, we don't have to talk about it, And I'm like, no. I love talking about it. This is a way for me to honor my father. Like, the more I can talk about him, whether I'm laughing when I'm telling the story or I'm crying, the better. Like, I'm keeping his memory alive.
Absolutely.
My favorite saying is, may their memory be eternal and their spirit rest in peace. And that was my dad's saying too. And so for me, I'm like, this is like keeping his memory alive. I'm like, it's fine. No, I love this. I like talking about him, whatever emotion that comes up. It's a way of honoring them. And you're 100% right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I mean, it's tears. This is emotion.
Yeah.
Like, telling people not to cry, telling people not to feel, like, the days of that. Let's, like, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Exactly right. And it's sad too, in a little way, when someone has that kind of reaction and they feel like that, because it was one of those, like, clearly they didn't get a safe space to express their emotions.
Absolutely.
And it was okay for them to feel that. And that to me makes me a little sad, because it's like, no, it's totally fine. And I hate that you feel uncomfortable, because you shouldn't feel uncomfortable. It's healthy, it's normal, it's therapeutic. So yes, let's normalize that.
Yeah.
And we can only do that with our children, right?
Absolutely.
And create like a better generation where it is a safe space. And that was really good advice for you to give your friend with her son, because especially little boys, right? It's totally okay
Stop
be
telling them don't cry.
right.
Stop telling them to be tough. They are tough,
Right.
but they feel.
Yeah.
Allow them to feel.
Allow them to feel.
Just tears.
Will be, yeah, a better society for it.
Yeah.
The more empathy that we can build in people in general, because Lord knows we need it right now.
Yeah.
Everyone needs empathy.
Yes, absolutely.
The better we will be as a society as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
Erica, thank you for sharing everything and for being here today. It was therapeutic for me, and I'm sure it was therapeutic for other people as well. I'm really proud of you. I love you. I know you love me. You support me, and you have a lot of people that love and support you. And congratulations on your success and your beautiful family and still being married and all the things, girl. It's incredible. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so proud of you. Like, I've just been rocking with you for a while now,
Girl.
and I've just watched you just flourish. And I know I tell you this, but I think it's important that I tell you this on this platform. You're a beautiful person, Crystal, and you're raising a beautiful boy, and you're doing an amazing job. And it's something to be proud of, you know? And you have a great support system in your family and your friends, and you've built a great community. Just keep pushing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Love you.
Love you too. Yay. That was so